The last word we need is the word proportion, and it may sound totally new, but you actually already know a lot about proportions. A proportion is just a statement that says that two ratios are equal. Now, the reason you already know about proportions is because you know about equivalent fractions. So, for example, you already know that 1/2 and 2/4 are equivalent fractions. Well, when you write them like this, with an equal sign in between the two, saying that they're the same, that is a proportion. It's just an equation that says that two fractions or two ratios are equal. Now, there's different relationships and proportions that will always be true. So, for example, if I multiply the numerator by 2, I get the denominator in both cases here. 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. And there's actually, in this case, a similar relationship between my ratios because 1 times 2 is 2 and 2 times 2 is 4. And of course, you already know that because you already know about equivalent fractions. Now, this year, one thing that you're going to do that's a little bit new is one of the pieces of your pair of equivalent fractions might be missing. So, for example, you might have 1/3 is equal to x over 9. And you have to figure out what is that x equal to. Remember, it's a proportion, so it's just two equivalent fractions. This side is equal to 1/3, so this side is 2. Well, what fraction is equal to 1/3 that has a 9 in the denominator? Hmm. To think about it, you could look at relationships between these two ratios. Let's see, 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 3 is 3. So look, you can even solve proportions with what you already know about equivalent fractions. We could rewrite this proportion as 1/3 equals 3 over 9 because you figured out what x is. So whenever you see this word proportion, know that it's just asking about something you already know. It's saying that two ratios are equal. In other words, it's another way of saying that two fractions are equivalent.